Welcome back to the local W. I don't want to say I apologize because I feel like that's gross because I don't mean it, but it's just like my bad for the late video, especially with them finna play again tomorrow. It's my apology. Life has been lifing, but that's not even there. But let's get to the shenanigans at hand and afoot, especially because it's time for Seven Man Young, Seven Man to eat his words. It was not a sweep. As we all know by now, it was not a sweep. Vegas lost and the Liberty were able to advance. Now, obviously, there's a lot of context and there's a lot of various factors that we need to go over in this game. But number one, we need to address and throw out there that yes, indeed, the Liberty were able to pull it out and stand up and fight back. And that's really all I've been asking. You know, we're talking about a championship level organization that needs to act like it, especially, well, not organization, a championship level roster that needs to act like they're a championship organization. I'm happy that they stepped up and actually did it because it was starting to be like, yo, like what is going on here? Stewie had what I think, again, numbers wise, you're looking at a box score and saying, hey, it was very efficient. But I thought, looking away from the numbers, just doing the Yale eye test, I thought Breanna Stewart had an incredible game. And that's the type of stuff that warrants you being called a literal MVP. If you're going to win it over Asia Wilson, if you're going to win it over Thomas and such, then absolutely you need to step up and have performances like this. And the amount of shots she was blocking, not layups, not little floaters, but literal jump shots she was blocking, that's the type of stuff that makes you an MVP candidate in my eyes. She obviously had some really cool shots, and the touch around the rim was sickening. I thought she played very, very well, and it's the exact thing that needs to be happening and needs to be coming from a MVP candidate and possibly a future GOAT someday. I mean, I don't think that, but just in general, that's the type of stuff you need to see. I mean, you can't have instances like this, right? And this is a really strange example, right? But just follow me here for a second, right? You can't be following in the footsteps of this, you know what I mean? And be playing anything less than that. That's just my personal opinion. The way we hype her up and the way we put her on this pedestal, this is the type of stuff I want to see. This is the type of stuff I need to see. Obviously, my opinion doesn't mean anything, but I mean, just like in general, just like as a watcher of the sport, that's what I expect to see. We already know what it is with Jonquel Jones, right? Like, she gonna show up every night and do her thing, right? She gonna get schliggity every night. Like, we already know what's good with her. She just added a three-point shot out of nowhere. Not that she never had in the past, but it was just like really showing in the last game. We already know what's good. Obviously, Courtney Vandersloot did her thing, and that's what happens, Sandy. That's what happens, Sandy. That's what happens, Coach Sandy, when you don't bench a championship point guard. But that's not a here nor there. We don't want to talk about that, but the last couple games, Courtney's been getting benched. You do not, I don't care how many fouls she has, you don't bench a championship point guard. That's just not how that works. But anyway, you see what happens when you let her play and such. And, you know, obviously, Laney's doing her thing as well. And the bench is coming through, you know, here and there. Only person who's not really coming through on the bench from what I'm seeing is Stephanie. But, you know, she don't really play that much, so I can't really get on her like that. But that's not even there. The only person who I feel like is a complete no-show is Sabrina. That is my only critique out of everyone on the team. I am wondering where she is. You know, because Courtney's running point, so I'm just curious as to what does Sabrina do? In terms of the success of the team, I mean, I guess her being out there and the gravity, if you will, is like attracting attention off of other people, perhaps, but I see someone who's in shackles all series to me, but that's not here nor there. Maybe she will break out and have her amazing finals moment at some point. Maybe she'll hit a crazy shot. I don't know, but I'm not seeing anything from Sabrina, but that's just me. But that's not here nor there. So that is the context of the Liberty side of it. Now we have to go to the context of Vegas's side, and there should allegedly be some type of memorabilia involving Vegas, but I do not have any Aces merch at all because I'm not an Aces fan. That's not even there. So ignore the fact that I'm pointing to a Harden jersey. But this is the Aces side of the equation, right? The ace side of the card, if you will. I think Asia Wilson played well. I don't think I have seen her yet this playoff series where she has played bad. Was it as dominant? I mean, you could argue it was double-double. You know what I mean? Like, if we had the energy for Jacquel Jones, we should have the same energy for Asia, but that's neither here nor there. I thought she played very well. Not as efficient as normally, but still played well. Because if you want to play the efficiency game, everybody played like trash on both teams. If you want to play that game, but that's neither here nor there. So I thought Asia played well. I thought Jackie Young played decent. Decent. You know, I thought Kelsey Plum was a flamethrower, not just from three, hitting some crazy contested threes. With like seconds running down, she's just like, screw it, pull. You know, I thought she played amazing. But the layup packages and the blow-bys and all that, the finishing by Kelsey Plum was absolutely incredible. Her ability to finish among the trees is just incredible. And I don't think that's talked about enough. The little underhanded scoop shot package she got, you know, a little scoop, you know, like a little, I was like, scoop, hey, scoop, scoop, you know what I mean? Like, I knew she could shoot. I just didn't know she had like that complete game like that. I don't know what the mid-range package is looking like. I just know, wowie, the shots she was hitting. Then we gotta talk about Chelsea Gray. Now, if you look at Twitter, it will tell you that the game wasn't competitive anyway. But I deny that in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I deny that violently, if you will. Because I watched the whole game this morning. It was pretty close. And she doesn't get hurt until like 4 to 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So she was basically out there the whole time. And if Vegas were to have been as locked in as they normally were, we wouldn't have even been in that position to begin with. Because Vegas just would have blown Brooklyn out if they were in the same type of zone that they have been in. So situationally, they kind of did it to themselves a little bit, but obviously no one deserves to be injured. So the game is close. I wouldn't say back and forth because that would imply that at some point Vegas took the lead. It was consistently a 10 to 5 point game, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. New York was constantly pushing them back, taking the shots in the mouth, pushing them back. And from the fact that they were getting blown out at one point, I thought Vegas was onto something. And then Chelsea Gray, I don't know if she stepped on Stewie's foot. I don't know if it was just like random chance. I couldn't tell you what it is. I will say that I'm not blaming it on the Liberty this time. I do think that it is highly coincidental that every time the Liberty play a team, somebody gets carried off in a wheelchair, but that's not here or there. I'm not blaming them for anything. I am simply pointing out that it is fascinating to me that every series, someone is leaving on a stretcher. Someone's getting scraped off the court and leaving in a stretcher. Again, AT had to go into the back and then comes back the ramp. You know what I mean? Came out from the back from her injury. Only to lose, of course, but like, you know what I mean? We obviously don't need to go into the Shakira Austin conversation. I just really feel like something, it's a unfortunate coincidence, but I'm just putting two and two together, but that's not here or there. Now, with that injury, we got to shift the conversation to ESPN and the coverage of the matter and how nasty it was. We see she's hurt. It's clear that she's hurt. You've shown us 95 million replays of her getting hurt. Why did they feel a need to have a camera follow her to the back? I mean, she limped on, she literally hopped on one ankle all the way to the back, which was impressive enough as it is. And might I mention that she tried to continue to play through it. Whatever injury she had with what she was saying with her mouth, which we're not going to go into that because that's her business. The fact that she still played like a couple more plays before she went to the back and just called it quits is incredible to me. Because Becky was ready to pull her off rip. But she's like, no, let's end this tonight. The fact that she went out of her way to literally hop to the back and then collapse, and we still had a camera following her with her literally screaming and crying in pain, that is disgusting. And we are not entitled, we are not privy, we don't need to see that. We don't need to be aware of that. And I think it is disgusting disgusting that ESPN had the audacity to broadcast that. Stop putting cameras in the faces of injured players. Period. Period. It's disgusting. I would say more, but this is local W and I ain't gonna go there. But stop it. It's disgusting. There are suspicions and rumors and alleged thinking that she's going to try to play tomorrow for game 4. It's giving James Harden in the second round. I don't know if that's the best idea, but I respect the fact that she understands how integral she is to her team, and she would rather die than not have a back-to-back. Again, that's a little extreme for me. I would not be too pressed if you just didn't play for like one game and then come back for the elimination one. But to each their own. Do what you got to do. Respect goes all the way for that, sure. But there's one other aspect of this. One, shout out to the Liberty for stepping up, having a pulse, and fighting back, because we've been waiting on this. Fight back. My God. That's one. Number 2, that home court advantage is really rearing its ugly head here, because they were getting obliterated, and then they come back to Barclays, and all of a sudden, they coming out swinging. You know, like puncher's chance, okay, but the type of, I don't want to say dominance, but intensity they were bringing, Vegas looked shook. Again, Chelsea Gray doesn't get hurt until the end of the 4th. So, like, they were giving them that business, a fully healthy team giving them that business. So let's not, like, blame the loss specifically on that injury, because they were giving them the business all game long. I don't care who you support in this matter. But then there's the factor of the Ace lost a game. Aces. They keep saying Ace. The Aces lost a game. They've been undefeated up until now. That's kind of a big deal. Regardless if they, win next game and get a championship, they won't go undefeated. They lost a game. So, that moment in history just kind of got scrubbed out. But that's neither here nor there. But anyway, I won't take up too much of your time because we're going to see each other again tomorrow. So let me know your thoughts down below. I'm Sever the Bond. You are on the local W. I will see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to go watch the Nets. And then I'm going to sleep for 30 days and 30 nights. See y'all later.